Hi students, Mrs. Baker here, just kind of in a new setting right now, but we're gonna go over some measurements, some equivalents with like gallons, half gallons, pints, and quarts, and then also I'm gonna actually show you guys some actual containers that you might see at the grocery store or in the cafeteria. And then we're gonna go over some measuring principles with dry and liquid ingredients for you. There's our handy dandy bell. So we're gonna start with measuring cups. I'm gonna turn this sideways here. You have 4 measuring cups and they are all nested. So you have, this is 1/4. It says on the bottom, or if you have the plastic ones, it'll say right on the top. 1/4, 1/2, so that's 1/2, 1/3, excuse me, 1/3, then you have 1/2, and then you have 1 full cup. So 2 1/4 will get me 1/2. I think of it as in money. 2 quarters, which is 25 cents, equals 50 cents. 2 1/4 equals 1 1/2. This is 1/3. You'll see some recipes ask for 1/3 or 2/3. This is what you're gonna do. If you need 2/3, you're gonna measure 2 1/3 cups. 1 full cup is either 2 halves, so 50 cents plus 50 cents gets me $1. 4 quarters equals $1. 4 quarters equals 1 cup. If I had an option of using 4 1/4 cups or using 1 full cup, you would choose 1 full cup because every time you're gonna measure, there's always room for error. So for instance, right now, I have my 1/4 cup and I have my metal spatula. It is a leveler, or you can use the back of a knife, not the curved part. So every time you scoop and you level it off, so it's perfect. If I measured 4 of these and only 1 of these, there's a lot more room for error. If I were to choose, I'll use 4 1/4 cups versus 1 cup. So you always want to choose the biggest size, all right? So same thing, scoop, level, and you're done. Dry ingredients, scoop, level, perfect, okay? So that's our example there. So again, our sizes is 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, and then 1 full cup. And if we have an option, we always use the bigger size if there's a true cup size for that measurement that we want to use. It is more accurate, and as humans, there is error. So there's less human error when you use the one size versus lots of little ones. Next, I'm going to show you some brown sugar. All right, so I've got brown sugar in here. And the trick with brown sugar is that I actually don't really need this. You grab your measuring cup, you scoop, pack, and then you level it off. Okay, so scoop, pack, level. And it should spit out something like a little sandcastle. Should remind you of playing in the sand or playing at the park when you were a child. So you get this perfect little castle cake with brown sugar. So your 3 rules for that is scoop, pack, level. Scoop, pack, level. That's how you measure brown sugar. Next, I'm going to show you sifted flour. For this, I'm going to use my flour. I'm not in the kitchen right now, so I'm going to have to do this on a paper towel here. If a recipe calls for 1/4 sifted flour, that means you sift the flour first and then you scoop and level. If it says 1 cup flour, comma, sifted, that is scoop, level, sift. All right? The reason why we sift, it's usually in baked goods, and it makes the baked ingredient much lighter. The flour is more airy, and it mixes the ingredients much better. So there's our 1/4 cup of sifted flour. So this again was, I measured the cup first, leveled it, because in the recipe it said 1/4 cup flour measured, and then sifted. So here's the other option. So I'm going to dump this back in there. If it says 1/4, I'm going to grab a larger cup size, sift it, because then I have to scoop my 1/4 out of the flour, the sifted flour. So I'm just going to grab a random amount, sift it on down. Usually you see sifting when you get maybe funnel cakes or powdered sugar toppings on brownies, whatever that might be. And usually at the end, you see chunks and like balls. So those we do not want. Can you see those? So we're gonna put those right over here. So now I've got my sifted airy flour. So this is 1 cup sifted flour. This is not 1 cup flour, then sifted. So I'm gonna scoop, level, and there's my 1 cup of sifted flour. There is a difference. If you do not sift, you get almost 1 to 2 tablespoons more flour than intended, and your recipe is going to come out dry. So you must watch for that. Okay, so next we're going to move to liquid ingredients. I've got my 2 measuring cups right here. This is a 2 cups. 2 cups is also equivalent to a pint. And this is 1 cup, which is half a pint. And I've got my liquid water over here we're going to do. So if there's any sort of liquid, which is vegetable oil, water, milk, you must use your glass measuring cups because these cups measure differently. And if you fill milk or water all the way to the top, it's probably going to spill when you're walking back to your kitchen with your tray. So when you are pouring liquid measuring, what you do is you pour, I'm just gonna do 2 cups, and then you bend down at eye level. That is over my 2 cup mark. So what you do then, you pour it back in, bend down at eye level. Perfect. Okay, so again, you get your glass measuring cup is number 1, pour is number 2, bend down at eye level is number 3, and then you need to adjust. Okay, so those are your rules for a liquid measuring cup. You have all of these in there, plus I believe 1 extra. So this is nothing you should be hunting for at the demo table with me. Then our last one is our measuring spoons. You guys, you have 4 measuring spoons. Your sizes, 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, and 1/4. Notice there is no 1/3 cup like there is in the cups. These are just 1 tablespoon, then these are all teaspoons. 1/2, 1/4, okay? A big factor equivalent that you're going to be looking at is how many teaspoons are in 1 tablespoon. So that question is, how many of these equals 1 of these? So if you look at them from the side, you get 3 of these. 3 teaspoons equals 1 big tablespoon. So if you have to double or have recipes, that's what you're going to have to remember, these equivalents. And here's another one. This is my 1/4 measuring cup. There are 4 tablespoons in 1/4 cup. Remember, this is like 25 cents. So 1/4 has 4 tablespoons. So 4 tablespoons of flour, level it off, should be perfect, okay? And now let's talk a little bit about abbreviations. When you see abbreviations, it's usually a capital T for tablespoon because it's the big guy, and then it's a lowercase t for teaspoon because it's the smaller one. And then so you can have just that single letter, uppercase or lowercase t, or the other option is like the word tablespoon, basically without the vowels. TBSP, tablespoon. Teaspoon is TSP, teaspoon. All right, so that's how you're gonna see it in different recipes that you're gonna come across. The tablespoon, the capital letter is always the bigger one. Okay, so let's talk here really quick about coming to the table, the demo table. We've got flour on this now, but this is gonna be in the bottom drawer of your kitchen. You need to get this out. When you come to the demo table for supplies, you're going to have your measuring cups, your plates, and cereal bowls. Whatever you need to measure those ingredients up there need to be on this tray. You always need a knife to level. You're gonna come up and you're gonna measure in front of me, and then you're gonna take it all back to your kitchen. But keep in mind, the ingredients that you have in your kitchen is the cooking spray, the salt, the black pepper, the vanilla, baking soda, and baking powder. So I will have all the specialty ingredients up at the front desk, front demo table. So you are a tray person. This is called mise en place. Everything is in place. That's French. And this is where you take it back to your kitchen. You have everything you need. Follow the recipe seamlessly, and then you're done. The recipe turns out accurate, and you get the grade that you want for the class. And you make me oh so proud. Remember, there is always one person doing the dishes, one person drying, one person is at the demo table, and the other person is getting out the ingredients from the actual kitchen, where your kitchen is stocked, and getting out the pans and getting out the utensils. So there are 4 people in your group, there are 4 jobs. You're going to rotate those every single lab, and I'm going to take note. If I see you doing dishes often, I'm going to note that, and I'm going to talk to you. If I see you coming to the demo table a lot, we need to make note of that and switch these jobs around. You have one shot at that demo table. You do not leave and then come back. So your mise en place needs to be done and ready and prepared, because I don't want you coming back to my demo table 3-4 times because you forgot. Okay, let's talk a little bit about equivalence here. At one of the stations, you're going to see this. This is called a gallon balance. And these are weighted appropriately, so when I put gallon over here, it's heavy. And it's not going to be in equilibrium until I get 2 half gallons on this side. So on your paper, this is how you're going to answer your equivalents with the gallons, the cups, the pints, the quarts. Okay? So see how it's even now? They are weighted appropriately. So if you ever wonder how many pints, your pints are green. These are what you're going to weight on there. So this is a gallon. Let's see how many pints are in a gallon. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that even budging? No. 5, 6, getting better. 7, 8. Done. So now I know there are 8 pints in 1 gallon. This is accurate, and this is what you're going to use to get all your measurements, because once you have these basic ones done, you can answer so many more questions, along with the fluid ounces too. Again, these little yellow ones are cups, and the orange ones are quarts. All right, so you're gonna be matching up some equivalents on this at that station. You're gonna find out how many cups are in a quart, how many cups are in a gallon, all of those things. And I also have, over here, some real life examples for you. For example, this is 2 pints. That is 2 cups. So your bottle of water is 2 cups. 1, 2. All right, this is real stuff that you see every single day. Again, this is 1 cup. It's a half pint. 2 of these is in 1 water bottle. Then we're gonna get to a quart. Let's actually get to a pint. These are equivalents. This is like milk though. These are both the same equivalent, just different types of containers. All right? So if this is 1 quart, how many cups would be in this? Okay, this here is another quart. These are the same volume, different size. Okay, so with this measurement tool here, you can see how many cups are in the quart, how many pints are in the quart, all those things. But these are real life examples for you to view. Here's a half gallon versus a gallon. Here's another half gallon, just a separate size container. So, how many cups would be in a half gallon? That's another question. How many cups? This is 2 cups. This is 1 pint. So, this is 1 pint. So, this is 2 cups. How many of these belong inside of there? Okay? This is 1 pint. This is 1 cup. And I'll tell you right now, 16 of these little guys fit into this 1 gallon. Okay? So these are real life examples that you've probably seen at the grocery store or the cafeteria. Hopefully I've answered all of your questions, because you're going to be doing measurement matches and M&M cookie bars in your kitchen and writing down the proper measuring methods that you used as one of your assessment tools there. The one thing that I did not cover is peanut butter. Peanut butter and shortening, it's like butter if you want to pack it. That is, you pack that with a rubber spatula, pack it, and then you level it off, and then you use that same rubber spatula and dump it in your ingredients, okay? Anything less than 1/4 cup, you need to use your spoons. So if I ever ask you, what do you do if there's less than 1/4 cup? You grab your measuring spoons, that's the answer. And then your vanilla, those smaller ingredients, those spices maybe that might be a liquid, again, those will be your measuring spoons. And any specialty items like mini M&Ms, which are gonna be in your recipe, again, that is another, just measuring cup is fine for that. Whole wheat flour is never sifted because you've got whole grain kernels in there. So that will always be there. Do not ever sift that. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. It's a lot easier for me to do the video because I'm up close with you, teaching you personally, so I greatly appreciate that. And let's have a great week. Have a great, great, great day.